So today I'm going to show you how to graph sine functions using the transformations. So today I'm going to show you how to graph sine functions with transformations. There are two methods to doing this. One is generally a little bit easier but is a little more work, and the other is less work but isn't as easy. So what I would suggest is that you watch the video and watch both methods first, and then replay the video and copy down the method that seems to make more sense to you. So method number one. What I would do is start with the general sine function. So that's the one that starts at 0, 0. And if you remember, the maximum is at 1, the minimum is at -1, and the points change every 90 degrees, which according to the scale is 3 units. And the pattern is center, max, center, min, center. So 90 degrees later, we're at the max. 90 degrees later, we're at the center. 90 degrees later, we're at the min. And then we're back to the center. And then you just continue every 90 degrees. And you also continue in the opposite direction. When you're given the grid, you should always continue the graph all the way to the left and all the way to the right. And then you join the points. Oops. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, but just make sure it is a curve and not a zigzag. And make sure that you go through all the points. I'm not great at drawing on this tablet, but there. So that is just y equals sine x. Then the next thing you would do is you would look at the a value. It is -2. The negative is going to cause a flip, and the 2 is going to cause a vertical stretch by a factor of 2. So that means your max is going to be 2 and your min is going to be -2. So the zeros will stay at 0, but now this max will be at 2 and the min will be at -2, but because the a value is negative, it's going to flip. So instead of this point going up to a max, this point is going to go down to a min, and the min is going to be -2. And then center, max, center, min, and continue. So if there was no flip, you would continue with center, max, center, min. But since there is a flip, you have to go min to a min first after the starting point. And then join these points as best as you can with a smooth curve. Oops. So that first step is to change the max and the min and possibly flip it if the a value is negative. So this graph is y equals -2 sine x. Since you are graphing more than one graph on a grid, you need to label each one. And then finally, what we would do is the phase shift and the vertical displacement at the same time. So this 60 is going to move to the right 60 degrees, and the -1 is going to shift it down 1. And you have to look at the scale. So 60 degrees is 2 units, so that's 2 boxes. And 1 unit down, look at the scale, is also 2 boxes. So basically all of these red points are going to shift 60 to the right, which is 2 boxes, and 1 down, which is 2 boxes. So that shifts there. This point shifts 60 to the right, 2 boxes, 1 down, which is 2 boxes. You got to be really careful that you look at the scale. You don't just, this -1 isn't just 1 box down, it's 1 unit down. And that scale, 1 unit is 2 boxes. So this goes 60 to the right, 2 boxes, 1 down, 2 boxes. So all of these red points, 2 boxes to the right, 2 boxes down. And since this one can't go to the right, then you just don't graph it. And join the points with a smooth curve. Oops. Hopefully you're doing a better job drawing than I am on this tablet. And again, you should always make it go all the way to the edge, so make this point look like it's continuing up. So that graph is y equals -2 sine x minus 60 minus 1. Now some people will skip steps. They may not draw the black graph, the black original sine x graph, which we call the parent graph. They might go straight to the red graph, just knowing that you start at 0, 0, and then they can get the max and the min and the flip. So drawing the black graph is optional. So it's not necessary to draw all 3 graphs, but it's possible. So that is typically the easier way to graph. It just takes more steps. What I'm going to do is show you the method that's a little bit faster, but a little bit more abstract, and then you should decide which method you like better. So the second method are what these steps are right here. So the first step would be to draw in the axis, which is a dotted line, and this value right here is where the axis is. So because it's had a vertical displacement of 1 down, your axis is y equals -1. So draw the axis using a dotted line at y equals -1 and label it. Then the second thing is to mark the max and the min. So the max is the axis plus the amplitude. So this is the d, which is the axis, and the amplitude is 2. So the axis is -1, and if you add 2, that's the max, so that's equal to 1. And the min is d minus a. So it's the axis, which is at -1, and the amplitude is going to go down 2, so that makes -3. So your maximum is up here at 1, and your minimum is down here at -3. Third step is to mark the phase shift, which is the C value, with a circle. So it is 60 degrees to the right, which is 2 units, and it's going to start on the axis. So you're not going to start it up here because we shifted it down. So it's going to start 2 units. So it's going to start right there. So I would suggest starting with a circle because that helps me to give you part marks, because with this method you're not really showing a lot of steps. So if you can show me that circle, which is your starting point, it helps me to give you part marks if it's not correct. So your C is equal to 60. Now you want to decide or note whether your graph has been reflected. Our graph has been reflected. So remember the pattern is usually center, max, center, min, center. But since it's reflected, it's going to be center, min, center, max, center. And you don't have to write this stuff down. You can just do it in your head or on the graph. And lastly, note the scale. And remember that you got to change your key points every 90 degrees. So 90 degrees is 3 boxes. So from the starting point, 3 boxes, you're going to be at the min. And then 90 degrees later, 3 boxes, you're going to be back at the center. And 90 degrees later, 3 boxes, you're going to be up at the max. And 90 degrees later, 3 boxes, you're going to be at the min, or at the center. And continue. 3 boxes, min, 3 boxes, center, 3 boxes, max, and continue it to the left as well. So 3 boxes, now we're going to be up at the max, 3 boxes, center, 3 boxes, min, 3 boxes, center, and join the points. Try to make them smoother than I'm doing. And then again, continue this one to make it look like it's continuing the pattern. And what you'll see is that the graph that we got using this method is the same as the graph using the first method. So the two final blue graphs are exactly the same. So decide which method you like better and go back and re-watch that section and draw that out and then continue on with the next activity. Thank you. Bye-bye.